located and wherever your time zone is, actually. So we greet everybody and we greet the whole world. This is Crossfire, and I'd like to welcome my partners here, Sir Butch Valdes and Sir Ado Paglinawan. I'm Rita Gadi. Our topic for this afternoon, which of course we could veer off with any other connections with this, loyalty is a virtue. But what are we talking about as far as loyalty is concerned? Loyalty to persons, loyalty to an idea, loyalty to programs, loyalty to certain policies. But there is something beyond just loyalty. It's a belief that we would have as far as certain persons, certain considerations, certain concerns. But first, before we go into the details of this, we'd like to sympathize or empathize with all of those that have been affected by these raging typhoons that have crossed our country, which seems to be passing through just about all our islands. So we had a long conference this afternoon witnessing the president meeting with several of these provinces that are affected in the south. And then, of course, we know that just recently we also had the earthquake in Abra. And just about the same time, we had also floods all over. So whatever else we would call it, some would say it's climate change. We don't believe in climate change. We've had all of this weather disturbances from the beginning of the earth. But nonetheless, as we've said, on behalf of Crossfire, we sympathize with all of those that were affected. And also, we offer our condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones because of these disasters. Now, let's get into the meaning of how we could be loyal to our government, loyal to our president, loyal to our cabinet members, loyal to programs, loyal to policies, but whatever it is, we have to believe in something. So, Sir Butch, good afternoon. Ado, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, tama ka dyan. Of course, Rita, we have to be loyal to something. No? But we have to understand what that something really is. No? And normally, of course, we look at our government and we look at our president. No? Who is our leader? So he's got to show us what direction we should all be going, and something more specific that has to be affect our lives. Kung wala yung ganyan presentation, all of us will be confused, and not only confused, many of us will get scared. That we're just like, everybody's wondering what will happen. No? And it's natural that if you don't know what's going to happen the next week, 2 weeks from now, and even a year from now, it's scary in the light of all of these developments that are happening outside the country. It will seem that we are trying to address problems here that have no relevance whatsoever to our survival as a nation. And so it's scary.
Well, we have put our trust and our faith in our elected president, 31 million votes, a majority of our people as far as the voting population is concerned. And there we have, over the past 100 or so days, some signs already of where we are going or where we are going back. But however else this goes, certain concerns have come up lately, other than, of course, what has been happening with the weather. Because recently there was an announcement that there would be 5 more sites of the EDCA. We discussed the EDCA some time back, the Enhanced Defense, whatever was signed between cooperation, whatever was signed then in 2014. Now they're asking, now we're being asked that there could be 5 more sites. So I think that is where, as you were saying, Sir Butch, where are we going as far as this is concerned?
Yes. And
Well, loyalty is a big word. But I would rather be loyal to principles and ideas rather than to characters and personalities. Um, for instance, I am loyal to the concepts and programs that were started by Ferdinand Edralin Marcos, not because of Ferdinand Edralin Marcos, but because of the universality, of the concepts that we have discussed here in earlier shows. His concept of a new society, that this country can be great again. His concept of the triangular principle of strategic principles of political liberation, economic emancipation, and social concord. With humanity, the humanity of the Filipino,
Center.
in the middle of all that. I am loyal to the roadmaps that were developed by the father of Bongbong Marcos, because they're not only logical, they're in fact surgical to a developing country such as the Philippines to be able to catapult us to first world. And to be able to do that, a balanced agro-industrial development that is pari passu or vis-a-vis a energy nationalization program that will bring down the cost of energy to its lowest. Because how can industries, and for that matter, how can consumers thrive if the very basic cost of energy is very high? The right now, Rita, Butch, most of the income of the ordinary Filipino are just for two things, which are food and energy. Food and utilities. How will they survive? No? And there were programs in agriculture, there were programs in industrialization that were already started. The industrializations were very specific. 11 industries which will enhance our productivity, because at the end of the day, that is what will employ as many of our people, what will make our people most productive, is the best thing that can really make us economically emancipated.
You know, we've gone through this many times in the past. We almost sound like a broken record every time we come up with all of these concerns that were already set 56 years ago, as a matter of fact, during the time, as Ado was saying, during the time of President Apo, Ferdinand Edralin Marcos. But then again, when we speak of being loyal to principles, to these ideas, to these programs, where have we veered away from this at this particular stage? Because now we see some conflict, not only with statements coming from the president, but also from his economic managers likewise. We have to understand what they mean by digitalization when it comes to micro, which is really the smallest of all of this economic bases that we have. So again, as Ado was saying, we have to have these concerns set now, if at all, and if not, why so? Why not?
Sa Biblia, nandyan din yan eh. Yung 5 libro, no, ng Old Testament. Ano ang nakalagay? Ano ang nakalagay sa Biblia? Drill them to their foreheads. Sabi ng Biblia. Tatagalugin ko. Ibarena ninyo sa mga noo ninyo. Kaya kami pa ulit-ulit dito. Para walang kaduda-duda at hindi tayo nakaka-lituhan kung saan talaga patungo kami. At iyon, ang pagbubukas ng aming suporta kung sino man ang nakaupo dyan, na elected, properly elected. No? Pero, sa bottom line na ikauunlad ng ating national interest. No? So, hindi...
Saka, ako, tama yung sinabi ni, I associate with the initial comments of Ado. You're loyal to ideas, no? Not to a person. But we refer to loyal. People think that we are just loyalists by reiterating what the old man President Marcos was saying, no? And that because he said it, that we are pushing it. No, it's not that way. No. Anybody could have pushed it, no? And we will still agree with the ideas. Up to now, especially now. No? So it has nothing to do with politics. Na some people here might listen, mga pro-Marcos yan, o, anti-Marcos kami, bakit pa natin bubuhayin yan? Hindi yung tao ang binubuhay natin. Ideas. By the way, I would like to venture also to say, maski na si Marcos mismo, napulot din niya yung mga ideas sa mga dating pinag-aralan niya, sa mga dating binasa niya at nakita niya kung ano yung mga ideya na umuubra noon tsaka ngayon. Tsaka nung panahon niya at gayon din ngayon. So it has nothing to do with the person. Those people that every time they see the word loyal, no, loyalist, no, agad-agad they put politics into it. No, so what are we doing? What we would like is for our president, no, to be loyal to the ideas. No? It is convenient, probably, or whatever, circumstantial, that it may have come from his father who happened to be president before.
At saka hindi ito modelo. Na katulad ginawa nung 30 years from 1986 to 2016. Minodelo tayo sa liberal democracy ng Amerika. Yung prinsipyo, yung mga panuntunan na namana natin sa matandang Marcos ay specific, Philippines specific, dahil sa nature ng ating halos 50-50 na countryside population and 50% urban population. Kaya kailangan balansehin yun. Kung katulad tayo ng ibang bansa na only 20% o 30% lamang ang kanilang countryside, mas maliit, mas dandun sa industrialization. Pero ang kanyang ginawa ay balansehin yan. And tunay naman, because natutunan din ang ating mga kababayan na 70% by the way, sa struktura ng ating pagka-service economy natin ngayon. Biski na 50-50 ang ating population, 70% ay nakaakma pa rin doon sa countryside. Hindi balanse. Hindi mo balanse. 50% of the population are in the countryside, but 70% of the population rely on the countryside economy kasi hindi nga nabalanse.
That's exactly what we were trying to say. Sa mga nakaraang mga pinag-uusapan natin dito, dalawang bagay nga ang lumalabas. Sabi nga ni Sir Butch, yung sa ating sa enerhiya, all of us are actually consumers of electricity at ng ating pagkain. Kaya ngayon, ang ating Pangulo, minabuti niya na siya na ang kalihim ng ating Department of Agriculture. Ngunit nung panahon ng kanyang ama, nangyari na kinailangan na tayo ay talagang magkaroon ng productivity sa, sabi nga ni Sir Ado, sa countryside. Kaya after several years, we were already exporting the staple commodity ng ating bansa, which is rice. Other than that, lahat yan ay, sinabi nga ni Sir Butch, may katumbas na industrial para magkakatulungan. At yun na nga yung hindi nababalanse. Kaya kailangan ngayon, binabalik-balikan natin yan. That is the loyalty that we're talking about. Pag sabihin na loyalty to ideas and loyalty to principles at hindi sa tao, ngunit masasabi ko naman, kaparehong kapangalan junior nga ito. Kaya doon natin makikita na bakit yung junior ay hindi parang tumutugma sa mga nalagay na ng kanyang ama. And that is why we're questioning several of the programs and policies that are now set, sapagkat kung titingnan nga natin ang mga kasamahan niya sa pamahalaan, ay siguro doon, hindi lang sa marami tayong matatanong, ngunit yan ba patungo sa direksyon na nailatag na ng kanyang ama?
Yan ang ano. At ang nakakalungkot lang, or what is noticeable, no? Not sad, but causing apprehension, no? Is that our economic managers, the so-called economic team that he has put up, are the very people that from the beginning of the ouster of Marcos took over the economy and had converted and had done everything to destroy the move towards a producer economy. They had taken steps to dismantle the ability to become a producer economy and converted us into a service economy. No? Something which is not going to hold for long. Or else, in order to survive, we have to export our people, which we are already doing now. The major export commodity of the Filipinos is our people, because we cannot feed them here. That's how it goes now. No? And what we want to be able to do is just on the basis of the ideas. Just understand the ideas that went through before and continue the ideas, then you will go back to the producer economy so that we do not have to export our people to become domestic helpers and in war-torn countries now.
When we started our program, Sir Butch, we mentioned something about recent developments. Merong ang announcement na nabanggit ko na that there will be an additional 5 other sites for the American bases occupying Philippine bases. Nababanggit natin to sapagkat we are also facing not just world powers with regard to that trade and economy, but also militarily, because kagaya na nangyayari ngayon sa South China Sea, kagaya na nangyayari sa Ukraine at saka sa Russia, lahat yan may epekto dito rin sa atin. Kaya nabanggit ko yan na sa una ng ating programa sapagkat ito na nga ang kailangan din natin tingnan. Maliban nga sa ating kakainin at maliban nga sa pag-consume natin ng elektrisidad, hinaharap din natin itong ating yung ating security, hindi lang sa loob ng bansa, ngunit sa paligid. Kaya yan ang isang malaking katanungan. Paano tayo ngayon haharap sa ating mga tao at sa mundo na ganito ang sitwasyon, na para bang bumabalik tayo sa nangyari immediately after the Second World War, when we were still a colony of the United States of America. So ano-ano ang ating titingnan dito?
Well, medyo delikado itong nangyayari at sa aking pagbasa dahil merong tinig na nanggagaling sa labas, papasok, at para bang confident siya na yon ang ekspektasyon na dapat itanim sa utak ng mga Pilipino. Pero questionable ito dahil ang mga nabanggit ng mga panuntunan ay hindi continuity ng nasimulan ng dating Pangulo, no? Kundi continuity ng kabubuhan ng Noynoy Aquino. So sino ba ang continuity, Mr. President Junior? Sino ba tinutuloy mo? Si Duterte ba ang continuity government mo o continuity government ka ni ni Noynoying Aquino, no? Bakit ko nasabi yan? Dahil ang pandering, no? Ang
Leaning towards, yeah.
pag-lean ay bumabalik sa Amerikano. Samantalang wala naman talaga tayong makukuha sa mga Amerikano. Oh, bakit? Dahil ang ekonomiya is post-pandemic. Kung meron bang mga tamang nangyayari before, naputol ito ng COVID at bumagsak ho tayo. No? Some was even saying up to 10 years ago level. No?
Oh, 10 years ago.
So, ang dapat na move dito is back to basics. Di ba? Back to basics tayo. Saan tayo malakas? Palakasin natin. Saan tayo mahina? Palakasin natin. Ha? Saan tayo medyo nagtitreten? Kwadya tayo dyan. Saan ang ating weaknesses? Yung mag-SWOT analysis tayo. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to our economy and to our national security. Nangyayari, bumabalik tayo doon kay Noynoy. Ha? Yung pagsipsip sa Amerikano. Alam niyo mga kabansa, we should be pragmatic. Hindi ako nagswaswapan. Hindi ako nagiging masyadong materyoso. Hindi po. Noong puntahan ng mga ASEAN countries, at hindi nga nagpunta si Duterte for the Philippines at si Teddy Boy Locsin ang nagpunta sa Washington for the ASEAN-US Summit. Buong ASEAN ang pinangako lamang ni Biden, no? Ay $160 million. Ilang bansa yun? Napakalaki ho nun. More than 10 countries yan. Maghahati-hati dyan. Tapos may kulatilya pa. Yung 40% kailangan daw spend sa infrastructure. At pag tinawas yung mga kabansa, yung 60%, yung 60 million, ay naka-allocate na sa USAID earmarks. So, madaling sabi,
Sila rin.
nandun na, on the way na, pagdating na, binilang lang.
Yung USAID yun, karamihan condom.
Ayan.
Yan yung mga
Karamihan population control. Karamihan climate change. No? Yung mga ganun ho. So, lagyan na natin. 40 for infrastructure, 60 for this preconditioned USAID allocations. Hindi may 60 million tayo ngayon. Ano magagawa ho ng tagsi-6? Kung 10 lang maghati dyan, mas marami pa nga sa 10. What will $6 billion make?
Sa buong ASEAN, magkano sabi mo kanina?
160.
160 million ang pinangako ni Biden. As of now po, alam nyo, about 1 year into the Ukraine war, the US has already pumped in $16 billion. Billion dollars. No? You can see how important we are, no? And yet we keep on trying to lick their assets. Excuse me.
Ngayon, itong mga nagsimula ito sa helicopter. Hindi raw itutuloy, no? Hindi raw itutuloy. Actually, there was a miscommunication here. Sinabi lang ni Duterte dito is ang intention ko is allowing the incoming administration. I don't want to preempt the incoming administration and impose. Bahala sila magtuloy kung anong gusto nila itinuloy. And one of those na nabanggit dito ay itong pag-import, pagbili natin ng helicopters
Sa Russia.
from Russia. At nag-down payment na po
Nag-down payment
tayo
na tayo.
ng 2 bilyong piso. Remember, may kontrata ito. At ang ginawa ng Russia, kung 10 yung in-order, no? Yung isa, pwede na nila i-deliver kaagad. At yung paggawa ng balance, sinimula na nila dahil nag-down payment ka na. Ang sinasabi lang ni Bongbong Marcos is, itutuloy ang talks about a 100 million standby fund sa foreign military credit. Well, actually, they call it foreign military sales. These are diplomatic terms. Pero actually, it's foreign military credit. No? Ayan mga kabansa, utang na naman pala yan. Pagka kinuha natin yung Chinook, hindi pala Chinook, Chinook ako. Chinook helicopters ng Amerika.
Amerikano.
Oh, di ba? Pero okay, mag-shift ka. Ang sabi niya, tuloy. Pero walang papeles. Walang instruction sa Armed Forces of the Philippines na, sige, sugod. Basta, ipinarke lamang yung Russian deal at nangangako na papasok papuntang Amerika. Pero walang kumikilos.
Nakakahiya sa Russia.
Tapos, hindi lang nakakahiya. Nakakahiya sa sambayanang Pilipino dahil Russia has all the right not to refund our 2 billion.
Para tayong balasubas dyan
At bigyan pa tayo ng penalty. Demanda tayo sa arbitral tribunal at humingi pa ng penalty for the cancellation of the contract. Ano mga utak ipis, utak lamok, ang sumausaw dito sa decision making na ito? Hindi ko maintindihan itong decision making na ito dahil ang excuse na binibigay nila is baka daw harangin ng Amerika i-sanction tayo dahil yung mga papasok na pera. Papasok na pera.
Anong papasok?
Papasok na pera. Ano yan? Yung OFW? Nakakapasok naman yan, di ba? At saka ang India ho, ay nabigyan pa nga ng 30% discount sa langis ng Russia na hindi nasasanction. Bakit? Anong pumasok sa isip ni Babes Romualdez na kailangan mga American helicopters? Kikita ba siya riyan? Yan, diretsahan na tanong na. Mga kabansa. Dahil malakas ang motivasyon Malakas ang motivasyon. Pero pag inanalyze mo yung trend, meron talagang public relations offensive. Ang Amerika, about almost every issue, kanina may minensyon si Rita, lalagay ko ngayon sa West Philippine Sea. Huwag daw tayo magtameme sa pagharap sa China tungkol sa West Philippine Sea dahil sa karapatan natin. Sino sila para tayo natungan ng ganyan? No? Ang dami nilang sinasabi. Ang dami nilang sinasabi. Yung 5 bases. Dati na namang usapin yun Sa initial agreement natin sa EDCA, talagang gagamitin yung 5 bases, Philippine bases na yun for purposes of the EDCA. Bakit ina-announce na naman uli? Bakit binabago na naman uli?
Dadagdagan.
Dadagdagan.
Pa, ng 5 pa. That's exactly why we're talking about loyalty as a virtue. Sapagkat sa panahon na nakikita natin sa kasalukuyan, kagaya na sinabi ni Ado, bakit tayo parang masyadong subservient ngayon sa mga dictates ng Amerika? Samantalang, ay nako, Hindi lang nakakatagal na lahat ng pinasukan ng Amerika sa ibang bansa ay ganyan na nga. It is only their interest. Sanang loyalty as a virtue. Hindi sa tao, hindi sa concern, hindi sa foreign policy. Loyalty to the people. Loyalty to the country. Ang sabi nga ni Ado, ano bang matutulong sa atin ng ganyang klaseng subservience? Samantalang, well, 50 years ago or so, anong sinabi ni President Edralin Marcos noon? Hindi nga siya sumama sa Amerika para lumaban sa Vietnam. Ilang beses na siyang pinressure, hindi lang sa kanyang state visit sa Amerika, ngunit dito pa 10 days after his state visit to the United States, dumating dito si President Johnson, nagpatawag ng ASEAN at gusto na naman pilitin si President Edralin Marcos noon na sumali sa Vietnam. Kung noon naninindigan because he had this loyalty to the people and to the nation. Anong sinabi niya? Kapitbahay natin ng Vietnam. We cannot fight our neighbors. At gera yan, it's a surrogate war between the United States and Russia. Ganyan din na nangyari ngayon dito sa kasalukuyan sa South China Sea. Sinabi nga ni Ado. Because China is now gaining power in the region, not just economically but also militarily. Andyan na naman, pumasok na ng Amerika at sabi nga, ano ba yung kinote na sinulat ko dito? We will definitely oppose any move that does not include us. Yan ang sinabi ng kanilang Foreign Affairs, ang kanilang State Department. That does not include us. That does not include America. How many thousands of miles away from their coastline in San Francisco is the South China Sea? At anong interest nila dito? Ayan na nga. 5 bases na andito na sila, dadagdagan pa ng 5. That is the loyalty we're talking about. That ought to be virtuous. Anong sabi ng panahon ng mga Greco? It's not enough to be good. You have to be virtuous.
Yes.
Yan ang mahalaga. Loyalty to our country, to our people. Hindi loyalty sa isang bansa o loyalty sa interest ng may kapangyarihan dyan na nagkakaroon na nakikialam sa atin.
Tsaka delikado ito, Rita, Butch. Dahil alam naman natin itong mga base militar na ito ay magnet for a retaliatory attack by any country to which they are a threat to. Ang ganda na nga na nangyari. Pinalis ng Philippine Senate ang Amerika noong 1991, umalis nga sila. At yung kaswapangan nila, pati yung building dock nung dry dock nung hinila. Oo, anong tawag? MMDA. Tino. Tino pa.
Pati yung bowling alley.
So, ay nako. So, anyway, ngayon nagkukumahog silang bumalik. At medyo ginugulo-gulo nila, niyuyug-yug nila yung tambiolo ng bingo at baka sila ay makakuha ng magandang pizza. Ang pangalawa, Butch, ay itong forecast ng bagsak ng dolyar. Dahil ilan na ba yung countries na nag-position na ng kanilang mga currency para flexible na sila sa pagbagsak ng dolyar. Ano ang ginagawa natin dyan? Nakasusog pa rin tayo sa puwitan ng dolyar. Ano ang iyong prognosis dyan, Kabuts?
Well, talagang, alam mo, pag bumagsak ang US dollar at di tayo gagawa ng pamamaraan ngayon, ay dadalhin tayo sa impyerno niyan, no? Because we're inextricably linked to the US dollar, no? What we should have done is the moment we can see the US dollar getting down, first of all, we should have, hindi natin ginawa, we should have tried to convert our reserves, no? From the dollar to some other currency, either the yuan or even the ruble, no? Para meron tayong pambalanse. Pero still monetary yan. Ang talaga natin dapat ginawa, noon pa at hindi pa naman huli, let's take over our economy. Wag na itong mga digital na sinasabi nito mga ito. Kalokohan po yan. Digital, they just want to convert our economy to a non-cash economy so that gagamit ka na lang ng cellphone mo para pag may bibili ka. Yung mga mahihirap, wala silang pambili dahil hindi nalagyan ng kanilang bangko ng account. Patay sila. Wala. Saan na pupunta? Di ba?
Sa Ilocos, hindi nila naiintindihan yung digital. Ang tawag nila yung digital.
DJ.
Biro lang po.
Pero talaga nakakatakot. No? Ngayon pa lang, kung titignan nyo sa mga television sa mainstream sa US, ang salita ngayon, they're either in a recession or an economic depression. No? Alam niyo po ba yung depression na salita? That was before World War II. No? Nung tinamaan sila ng crash, ng Wall Street, ng crash. No?
Financial.
At ngayon actually, nagka-crash pala yung Wall Street, binubuhay lang nila dahil nag-eemprenta sila, nagbubuhos ulit ng pera. Pero ilang beses na nagka-crash, kanya nagkakaroon ng malaking pressure for inflation ng Amerika. Wala nang halos halaga. Ang nagbibigay ng halaga sa US dollar, tayo. Kasi ginagamit natin yung US dollar.
Yung mga import, dollar dependent. Because we use that to import.
Right.
We buy dollars to import.
We are actually the shock absorbers of an ongoing collapse of the US dollar. And these economies we have, yan, joke, no, medalya. Alam nila lahat yan. No? Pero hindi sila magsasabi na.
Talagang pumabagsak nila si Bongbong Marcos, ano?
Well,
parang yun ang nakikita ko.
Yun ang mangyayari.
Wala na kabuhang-buhang si Junior.
Yun ang mangyayari. No? Kaya tinan mo itong mga ekonomista kung ano ng mga sinasabi. Si Jock nagsalita siya, sabi niya that the agriculture is already a sunset industry. We must not dream of becoming a producer of agricultural products anymore. Imagine, sasabihin niya, hindi na natin kaya yan. Mag-isip na lang tayo kung paano tayo mag-aangkat ng mga agriculture pagkakainin natin. That's really stupid. Coming from the head of your economic team.
Yan, kasama nga din dyan sa economic team na yan, ilang beses na rin natin tinanong kung maiintindihan ba natin ang ibig sabihin that we should go digital. At pinag-uusapan niya yung mga SM, yung mga small and micro, yung talagang maliliit. Sabi ko nga, paano ba natin gagawin na yung mga nasa bangketa, dala nila bilao, nagbebenta sila sa umaga, nagkakanin, uuwi, pag naubos na, magluluto ulit. At saan sila ngayon papasok para maging digitalized? Sinasabi nga na yan ang makakatulong daw sa kanila. Yan ang sabi ng namumuno ng Department of Trade and Industry. Trade and Industry, yan yung ekonomiya natin, yung tinatawag nga na the informal economy, which is about 90% actually of the baseline ng ating ekonomiya. Paano sila uunlad? Paano matutulungan ng Department of Trade and Industry? Ang sabi, para mag-digitalize, diyan kayo kikita. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Mag-a-upgrade kayo kung digital kayo. Mag-a-upskill kayo, gagaling kayo ng gumawa ng binebenta nyo sa bilao o ng balot o yung tokwa, taho, yan binebenta nyo sa yan ang micro, talagang napakaliit na hanap buhay. Yung nakikita natin sa yung sinasabi nga sa mga talipapa na yung mga karne nakalatag doon, they should go digital kasi yan ang makakatulong para umunlad. Hindi po natin matugma kung paano uunlad nga yung pinakamaliit, pinaka-basic ng ating ekonomiya. At ang sinasabi ay we should go digital kasi dyan uunlad. I still cannot understand this. Siguro
ibang generation na ako.
Hindi, kasi, alam mo Rita, when they're talking like this, it only means one thing. Everybody that you mentioned, they're the poor side of our, the small and the micro businessmen. They're the poor, eto nagbibenta ng balut. Pero sa kanila, yung mga yan sa medalya, sila, wala na yan. Dapat pabayan nyo ng mamatayan. No? Dapat ito na lang ang buhayin natin, yung mga grocery stores, yung mga meron mga negosyong nagbebenta ng mga sa grocery. Yan na lang ang buhayin mo.
Yung mga malls.
Yung mga maliliit, pabayan mo ng mamatayan. No? Kasi doon na rin sa nila papunta. This is the mentality of these people. No? All the time. No? All the time. There is nothing in their economic program that addresses that. No? That's why when we say we must cut down electricity rates so that everybody is going to be benefited, no? Hindi nila. That is not their idea to benefit
That
everybody.
is the fastest way to cut inflation.
Exactly. That's Japan, by the way, has already announced they will cut it by 20%. Electricity as their reaction to inflation. Finally, they're getting it. But why are we not getting it? We can even cut it down to more than 50%. Because sa Japan, hindi naman oligarko ang may hawak ng kuryente sa Japan, no? Dito ang may hawak ng kuryente, oligarko. Banatan natin, sabihin natin sa oligarko, hindi. Gobyerno muna to. Dito muna kayo sa ibang industriya. Tulungan namin kayo dyan.
Meron akong nahalata nung dumaan si Pangulong Bongbong sa Bacolod, kung saan mayor si Albi Benitez. At biglang-bigla na si Albi Benitez ay nag-push ng renewable sources of energy as a way of reforming EPIRA, amending EPIRA. Para sa akin, ang EPIRA ay dapat ipuwera na.
Ipuwera.
Palayasin na yan.
Repeal.
At gumawa ng paraan ang bayan para bilhin o gawing minority stockholders na lamang yung mga oligarko sa mga kumpanya in the move to nationalize. Paano gagawin? Para sa akin, dahil ang utang, according to estimates of Dan Fernandez, isang outspoken at bilib na bilib, idol kita, Dan Fernandez from congressman from
The only one
na nakakaintindi at nag-explain at sinasapul itong mga tao ni Bongbong, lalo na si Demalanta, no? Bakit? Dahil sa kanyang estimate, 3 trilyon na piso ang utang na ng entire energy producers sa consumer as rebate. Dahil sa 20 years of provisional increases, price increases po, na wala namang reconciliation, at ngayon lamang pinupush niya, dahil pinaalam niya yung WACC, weighted average cost of capital, dahil doon po nakabase ang possible price increases and the profitability of these energy producers. So, kung 3 trilyon yan, may equity. Huwag na ibalik sa consumer, gamitin na lang ng gobyerno na equity para i-buy out. No? Itong mga wala namang ipinapasok na kapital eh. Puro sa ating din ang gagaling through price increases. For instance, di nyo mahalatang mga kabansa. A month or so ago, sabi nila, dako, ang demand nitong Pasko, darating na Pasko, demand for electricity, tataas. Pag tataas, makakaroon po ng additional demand for additional capital yan. Pero anong konklusyon na sinabi nila? Aprubahan niyo ang aming petition for price increases. Hindi sa atin na naman magagaling mga kabansa. Ngayon, 3 trilyon na raw yan na naipon at around 200 to 300 billion dyan sa Meralco pa lamang. So, here is a chance to nationalize through equity. No? Kasi ang kanyang approach public-private. O di simulan muna ron kung yun ang logical transition, kung yun ang nexus. Doon muna bago mag-nationalize. Baka masyadong drastic yung nationalize. Pero, ang sabi ni Albi Benitez, luwagan daw ang renewable sources of energy. In other words, yun ang iniisip nila na magpapababa ng presyo ng kuryente by enlarging the sources from renewable energy. Alam niyo ho kung soft sources of energy po yan. Hindi po yan makakasabay sa coal. Hindi yan makakasabay sa diesel. Hindi yan makakasabay sa nuclear, which is the cheapest and the cleanest. No? Doon dapat sila pumuntos. Kung wala pa China na nagpamura ng solar power, ay dinaloko na. But anyway, yun ang kanila. So, kaya pala si Aboitiz, mga tao ni Aboitiz nilagay niya dyan para mauna si Aboitiz sa paghalukay ng mga subsidiya dyan, mga tax holidays dyan sa mga industries na yan, renewable sources of industry. Pero hindi ho yan makakasabay sa hydroelectric, geothermal, coal. Lagay nyo ng diesel. And of course, yung nuclear plant.
Yan ang malungkot dyan sapagkat sinabi mo nga, Ado, ay nadinig mo yan nung pumunta si Presidente doon sa Mascara Festival. Ngunit, yan din ang kanyang sinabi. He also made that statement. He also made that pronouncement. Ang sabi nga niya, the APIRA law should be amended. So yan ang kadugsong niyan sa sinabi nga ni Albi Benitez doon. So sabi mo, hindi lang amendment ang kailangan dyan. Kailangan yan, buwagin na.
Puwera.
Yeah.
Well,
nga.
actually,
Exactly.
kaya itong mga ginagawa, maski na yung resolution ni Dan Fernandez. No? So what they're trying to do is trying to solve the problem inside the fishbowl. You like fish inside the fishbowl just going around in circles talking about a full solution. But actually, the solution there is dismantle the oligarchic hold on the public utilities. And there is a way. Our Constitution allows this. Article 12, Section 17 and 18 specifically says that the government at the times of crisis may take over temporarily or permanently the public utilities, specifically referring to electricity and water. Why? Why did some bright guy push this without any of those other people not really know? Because he knows na magkakaroon ng feeding frenzy itong mga oligarko, no? Na nakawin at papataasin, kukunin nila with their greed, no? Pataas ang halaga ng kuryente. We're paying already the highest in the world. Now, eto tayo. Ang problema, lahat ng naging presidente natin, takot sa oligarko. Bakit? Mayaman sila. Sino nagpayaman? Sila rin mga presidente ang nagpayaman. Katangahan nila. Kaya ito ngayon ang nangyayari sa taong bayan. We must take matters in our own hands and say, Mr. President, look into Article 12, Section 17 and 18. do what is your duty for the Filipino people. No? Pag nabawasan po yan ng 50 o 60% yung kuryente, yung sinasabi mong 3 trillion, hindi lang isang beses yon. It will be 3 trillion every year
Correct.
na pinapasok mo sa ekonomiya. No?
Ayan, basahin mo yan, Ado. Section 17, sinasabi nga dyan.
Section 17, ang Estado sa mga panahon ng pambansang kagipitan kapag kinakailangan ng kapakanan ng pambayan ay maaaring pansamantalang mga siwa o mamadugod sa pagpapalakad ng anumang pambayang utility na aring pribado o negosyong kinakadolooban ng mga kapakanan ng pambayan habang umiiral ang kagipitang pambayan at sa ilalim ng makatwirang mga katakdaang itinatagubilin nito.
Exactly.
Yun.
So, nasa ating
Bayan
constitution.
o sarili.
Exactly.
That is, what about 17? That is,
Yan.
18 eh.
Section 18 and dalawang section yan sa ating constitution.
Yun, Article 12, Section 17 to 22.
22.
Section 18 ito.
Kaya mahalagang
Meron kasi dyan mga 17, 18, all the way up to 22. Maganda yun sa 22. Mapapakita mo ba yung 22?
Oh.
para mabasa ng lahat.
Ito, Section 22.
O yan.
Ang mga kagagawan na lumihis o nagpapawalan sa isay sa atin mang tadhana ng artikulong ito. Sa alinmang tadhana ng artikulong ito ay dapat ituring na di naaangkop sa kapakanang pambansa at dapat lapatan ng mga parusan sibil at kriminal ayon sa maaring itakda ng batas,
Kita mo.
bayan o sarili.
Exactly. So tandaan natin yan sapagkat andyan na yan sa ating saligang batas.
Ito yung sinasabi natin, back to basics.
Exactly.
Yes.
Kung maliit ang ipupundar ng isang negosyo, hindi lang siya kikita ng mas malaki, siya ay mananatiling nasa negosyo. Ganyan din ho pamilya. No? Bakit tayo ay sinasabi na sa poverty line? Alam mo, sabi nga nila, yun daw hindi kumikita ng $2 a day. Ha? Ay nasa poverty line. Anong $2 a day? 110 pesos.
100 pesos.
Ha? Pag kayo hindi kumikita ng 110 pesos a day, kasi ilalim kayo ng poverty. Sa akin, hindi yan ang definition ng poverty line. Pag hindi ko mabili yung gusto kong bilhin, I am poor.
Yes.
O, hindi ba? Huwag ka ba sa... yung birthday ng anak mo, hindi mo ma-celebrate. O yan. Ako, namumblema ako ngayon. I'm poor. My goodness. Ha? Ako, I'm facing my 50th wedding anniversary at the end of this year. Nanganganib ang buhay ko sa asawa ko. Pag hindi ko natugunan yan.
Yan ang ating sinasabi nga. Kaya yan ang ating pamagat. Loyalty to an ideal, loyalty to our principles, loyalty to our people, loyalty to our country. Yan po ang kinakailangan natin lahat. At sinasabi nga, paulit-ulit, sino bang may hawak niyang mga basic commodities na yan na supposedly for public service, mga oligarko. Again,
May kalalagyan naman sila. Sabi nga ni Butch. Doon sila sa 11 industries.
exactly.
Mag-reinvest sila sa agro-fisheries. Oh, may offer ha. Noong 20th anniversary po ng Communist Party of China. Nagsalita si Xi Jinping at dito 2 days ago nag-forum si Ambassador Huang Xiliang
Of China, yeah.
dito sa
Kamuning Bakery.
Kamuning Bakery. Ano sabi niya? Ang isang area na kung tingnan natin kung paano tayo makakatulong sa Pilipinas sa larangan ng fisheries. Hindi ba diniscuss natin yan dito?
Yes.
Mukhang merong nagmo-monitor sa atin sa Chinese Embassy. At hindi ba sabi natin, wala tayong masyadong isda para sa ating hapagkainan kasi yung mga traditional fishing areas lang ang ating kinakalkal, mga kabansa. Samantalang, nung tingnan ko, ang BIFAR, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, 6 pala ang malalaki nating fisheries management area nagsisimula sa kanan sa Benham Rice, FMA 1, pagbaba dito sa bandang Bicol, pababa sa bandang Surigao, 2 sa ilalim ng Davao, 3, 4 dito sa bandang Cotabato, 5 nahahati lamang ng Palawan, yung sa loob ng Palawan, yung municipal waters natin dito sa bandang kanan, pero paglabas, South China Sea na po. So, 2/3 of FMA 5 ay South China Seas na, plus the entire FMA 6, Fishing Management Area number 6. Ang dami po. Wala akong narinig na nag-fishing dyan sa Benham Rice, dyan sa Pacific side.
Yeah, Philippine rice, that's true.
Kung saan lang kasi, ang nangyayari kasi, kung nasaan lang yung isda, doon lang tayo. So my proposition is to build a deep sea fishing industry na pati ang private sector ngayon
Yes.
ay nagising na at gusto na nila at kumakatok na siguro sila sa China. Kaya nabanggit ni Ambassador Wang Silian.
Nakakaawa dahil every time meron issue about fishermen, ilalabas natin yung mga nakabangka, no? Tapos doon sila, tapos dinidiligan sila ng mga malalaki. Pero actually, if government were so exactly what Ado is saying now, no? We should develop the fishing industry, no? And have fishing corporations, no? Even if they were in partnership with government, fishing corporations to make use of all of these resources around our country, no? Not just sa Benham Rice, no? Pero wala tayong pumasok na ganyan. As a matter of fact, if it was Japan, I remember in Japan, yung mga ganyan, they create special banks,
Yes.
no? Dyan, nakatutok lang ang pagpapahiram ng pera sa mga ganyang industriya, no? Para hindi na nakuguluhan sa ibang malalaking bangko pa. Every area has a special bank. That's what we should do with our Development Bank of the Philippines. Subdivide it, no? And give it special purposes back.
Pero sinolve na yan, Ferdinand Sr. Nagtayo siya ng Land Bank of the Philippines.
Oo.
Pero pagpasok ni Cory Aquino, yung Land Bank of the Philippines naging commercial bank. At ayaw magpautang kung walang collateral. So it's no longer pati DBP naging commercial bank.
Right.
So, ano ba yan? Ano ba nangyayari?
Pumayag sila sa mga IMF.
Nahihilo na ako dito kung nasaan ang ating loyalty.
Yes,
No?
exactly. Yun ang ating ang sinasabi. Loyalty to our people, to our country, to ideals, to principles, to certain
Pinaka-treasonous
projects. Yes.
dyan, it's not just the presidents or what. The most treasonous are the economic managers who know better than to allow this to happen. And they've allowed this for the past 50 years.
Yan ang malungkot. Nabanggit na natin yung mga oligarko na yan. Sinasabi nga natin talagang despotic ang kanilang rule. But be that as it may, what is important is, as you listen to Crossfire, we're very glad that all of you will be better informed. At sabi nga natin ay, lahat ito ay para sa bayan. Meron tayong mga, eto na, Arnel Ariola. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. James L. I'm disappointed with BBM's admin so far. So many yellows are being appointed. They should appoint qualified loyalistas. Ako po. Virgilio Villanueva, tend to be liked. Mabuhay po kayo. Maraming salamat sa pagmumulat nyo sa masang Pilipino. Mabuhay po kayo, Ma'am Rita, Sir Butch, Attorney Paglinawan. Joe Bederio, good afternoon po sa inyo, Sir Butch. Okay. Mabuhay po kayong watching from Jeddah. Maria Luisa Mendoza, hello po. Luis Gerald, public transportation is not a private business. Di ba dapat libre yan at ginawa pang negosyo para pahirapan ng mga computer? Good afternoon po sa inyo. Warren Fontillas watching from UK. Hello po sa inyong magandang hapon. Carlos Joe Marley, mabuhay sa inyong lahat. Felicidad Nagata. Hello Ma'am Gadi, I miss your blog po na Miss Rita Gadi. Napakaganda at sarap na tunay na kasaysayan. Nakakalungkot po ngayon. Araneta Government President. Sige, hindi ko na po babasahin yan. Nababasa naman ninyo. Mander Chill. Ito po ang another set of great commentators. May laman, may rational, may worth. Please continue to educate us. Maraming salamat po. Imelda Palapal, good afternoon and good evening po. Clev Tan, BBM is so unlike his father. FEM was a great socialist, while BBM prefers private-public partnership, aka oligarchs. Vanji Abrenilia, parang binoto nyo sa PBM para bumalik ang mga dilaw dahil halos lahat ng nai-appoint ay dilawan. Guys Counter, ano po ang equivalent ng ating Philippine Overseas Employment Administration sa Amerika o ibang bansa? Meron ba tayong mga Pinoy dito sa Pinas na may katulong na Amerikana o ibang lahi? Hehe, totoo yan. Ang sarap nga mamimiti dyan. Maite Baisa, hello po. Ma'am Rita, Sir Ado, Sir Butch, keep safe. Thank you. Jesus Parado Jr., where are we going? Valdes, indeed. Clem Tan, ang Pilipinas ay isang bayang nawawala sa sarili. Ay, naku po. Freddy Oredina, present in China, no entrepreneurs sit in their governance and Russia is now doing it. Let the government run the public utilities, not give it to money private sector, like Villar sitting as senator. Lai RG, hi Mabrita, watching from Katipunan. Oh, hello. Katipunan, my hometown. Lipanoch Kalosya, totoo lahat ang mga sinabi niyo, sirs and madam. Marcella Kabatu, maybe BBM is very cautious, kaya lang kung minsan difficult decisions have to be made regardless. Conversion sa Longkong, keep safe always everyone. Imelda Palapalis repeats itself, hi, di na natuto. Christine Rivera, Russia helped us during the Marawi siege. Yes. Rock PH10, the Philippines will be the next Ukraine, worse than Ukraine. Wag naman po sana. RJ Billones, do you have the chance to talk directly to BBM? Lalo na po kayo, Ma'am Gadi. You're very close to the Marcoses. Thanks for this informative platform. Marivic Man, MGT, hello po, Crossfire team. Miderio Candido Salito, good afternoon po. Sir Butch, Ma'am Rita, Kaado. Sana po wag makalimutan ni BBM ginawa sa pamilya niya. Wag na po sana siyang magpauto sa mga kano. Jerry Chua, good evening. Ano po news na magdadagdagan pa ng 5 military bases sa Pinas at sa EDCA pumayag na daw na pwede lagyan ng nuclear missiles ang bases dito? Bakit nananahimik sa ganong issues? Yes, exactly. Cesar Soberano, sabi po ni Kissinger noon, it's dangerous to be an enemy of the US, but it's even fatal to be a friend. Sa totoo lang po, the US is always a treacherous friend. Bantay sa lakay in local parlance. World Blitz gameplay, digital na kalokohan. Ayan, Piña, Florida, bakit po hindi nag-apply sa gobyerno si Ma'am Rita? Malaki pa matutulong nito. Nako, ibang generation na po tayo. Juanito Katbagan, kami din dito sa UK, meron yung gap price na sinasabi pero ang taas naman kaya halos doble o triple ang expected na babayaran this coming winter months. Hirap talaga maintindihan bakit hindi mapigilan ang taas ng fuel at electricity. Christopher Castillo Ramos, God bless po, Attorney Rita Gadi and the rest. Napapanahon po ang inyong topic, nagbabayad tayo sa systems laws. Bakit po tayo nagbabayad ng sobra-sobra sa kuryente at hindi po sila na kukontento, bilyon-bilyon kita taon-taon at nanakawan pa tayo ng sobrang singil. Christopher Castillo, God bless po, Attorney Rita Gadi and the rest. It's the same message actually. Ryan Sally, BBM doesn't have budget for Bataan. Sayang ang presentation ni Congressman Cojuangco. Guys Counter, tularan natin sa China, mga kabansa, search ninyo ang website ng IAEA 1997, unang nuclear plant nila. Pinas, 1985 pa meron na. Ngayon, 55 nuclear power plants na sa China, 18 under construction. Gising na mga Pinoy. Anyway, there are several others who are sending messages. We'd like to thank you all. Keep on listening to Crossfire. This is exactly your program because here we are. We are the loyalists to principles, to ideals, and of course, everything that is good for the nation. I'd like to thank Ado and Sir Butch. Thank you also for having joined us. This has been Crossfire, and I'm Rita Gadi.